Welcome to the Old Heads Podcast. This is grown folks' business. Time to check the culture. I'm tired of it. Sucker shit is over. I'm tired of it. Old heads taking over. We tired of it. Cause we tired of the bullshit. We tired of the bullshit. Time to check the culture. I'm tired of it. Sucker shit is over. I'm tired of it. Old heads taking over. We tired of it. Cause we tired of the bullshit.
Yeah. Hey. How's it going? Yeah, we sitting here enjoying that intro, man. We both, everybody seemed to love that, man. So,
that's slick.
Yeah, welcome to the Old Heads Podcast. This is grown folks' business right here. Week 8, we started out just like I was just explaining before we turned the cameras on. Our mission out the gate was to have some influence, make some impact, but really just get started. This isn't as easy as it may seem to just jump up here and, start talking and stay on topic and things like that. Bob, well, I have a little bit of experience. Bob didn't, so we appreciate every single one of y'all that have been supporting, sharing, sending messages. Bob, we got a great message this week, man. That was emotional, So before I go any further, you know what I mean? I want to shout out my co-host, B White. How you doing this week, man?
Oh man, I'm good. I'm a daily work in progress. That.
Yes, sir. I love that.
You know that. But on another note, we got a lot of heartache going on in our city right now from Miss Denise Newman passing away, and so my heart goes out to Andre Newman, the Newman family, my cousins that are part of that family as well. Everybody's hurting, and when you lose somebody, especially young, it kind of messes you up in a way to where you feel like too soon you didn't get enough, and it just hurts. It's hard to almost recover and heal. And so, what do you do in that moment?
Pull it here just a little.
So, what do you do in that moment? Do you drink your sorrows? Because that's what most of us gonna do, right? When you lose somebody, the natural thing to turn to is the bottle and your sorrows, and you're gonna just be numb, and you're gonna be in this dark space for a while. So with that being said, I know what Andre's getting ready to go through and probably already been going through. As well, you lost your mom and dad back to back.
Yeah.
And it's devastating. You almost can't even bounce back if you don't have a good, solid recovery plan from losing the most important people in your world. And realizing now it's just me,
Yeah. So, that's a tough one. First and foremost, my heart goes out to the Newman family. It's been a rough few years for that family, just like it's been a rough few years for my family.
We gonna all do it.
And I think the most important thing, because we're old heads, and this is an old head conversation, right? So I think all of us, as we have the privilege of getting older, I think it all is kind of sitting with all of us that this is kind of what we got to look forward to.
Of course.
So,
and that's sad, when you think about that, and your parents, they here and they, what they about, but now they You know, they're not them no more. Their mind's gone.
Yeah, it's tough. So
You know,
I, I think I spoke about it in the last couple of weeks, how, the same situation with me and my pops, like that was hard. I've been through a lot of shit in my life and I wasn't ready for that one,
no,
and it was long and drawn out and, emotional. And every day was, because his mind wasn't all the way there. It was more about just making sure he was cool, you know,
comfortable.
and
Yeah,
like he wasn't having a bad day, but that turned into several months of me not worrying about my days,
yeah.
and that stacked up. And then to have the loss, it's a lot. It's a lot. But understand this: if as far as what I've learned through that process, the first and foremost, you have to sit with it and you have to feel it. As much as you don't want to, you have to, because this is the circle of life. These things happen, and if you turn around and numb it, and you say you go 5 years numbing it, you still haven't dealt with it, and that's
Oh,
still got to
and
be
that,
done.
and you know what? I'm glad you said that because I got many family members that get stuck in that cycle to where you know you didn't get to properly grieve or heal or not even say grieve because you're grieving, but you just never got to the healing part.
Yeah,
You know, to where you allowed yourself to feel good again. See, that's what it was for me. Is almost like survivor's guilt. You
yeah,
know, so how dare you move on with life? You know,
yeah.
like let's just focus on being sad about everything else. And you know, your parents wouldn't want that.
No, they wouldn't.
They that's like one of the key things of being a parent is when we pass, we want to know that our babies is going to be okay,
Yeah,
especially mentally. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, for sure. And in my pop's case, like he's not suffering anymore. He's on to wherever that next place is for him,
yeah,
right? And I almost owe him a life well lived. All of these people, I think about Rob, or there's there's so many. My mama, my grandma, and I'm not gonna be morbid and run down the list, but there's just so many that, and we talked about this, in this season too, about changing the meaning and what meaning do I attach to that,
that's right.
right? And what meaning I attach to it is every one of those people were a blessing in my life. I was fortunate to have the time that I had with them, and I have people on this earth that feel that way about me.
Yeah,
And so I can't now live an existence that doesn't honor that, the living, the
that's
people
right.
that are here, the people that, and so it's all this conversation we have in our head, and then whatever conclusion we come to in that conversation, that's the meaning we give to something, right? So I choose to look at it like a blessing. I'm fortunate for my time, and I miss my pop, but I got kids, I got uncles, I got aunts, I got cousins, I got friends, I got people that need me here right now,
Yeah, right.
right? And so I want to be that for them. So my first thing, you got to feel it. Second thing is, there is no time limit on this shit. When it comes to grieving, when it comes to mourning, there is no time limit. Do not do that to yourself and put some type of time limit on it, or some type of gauge where you measure the next person and say, well, Tone got over it. Why ain't I over it? Or why, or you know what I'm saying? Or so and so got over it. Why? Don't do that to yourself, because now you're just adding another layer to torment yourself. Take time. This is one of the five great traumas we can
I
experience
like
as humans.
to I like to call that breathing. Just take that moment to breathe.
For sure.
Lean back and oh my God, just take a deep breath and blow it out, shake it off, take a shower,
Yeah.
take a walk, breathe the air, feel life again.
Yeah.
Just feel, when you lose that most precious thing, whether it's a child or a mother or a father or a grandparent,
Yeah.
um, or a sibling, you got to take time to just hurt, heal, and breathe. Come back at it strong with like you said, change the meaning.
Yeah.
So when my brother Willie died, I changed the meaning to take in now I need to lose weight, you know, and I need to get serious about me
Yeah.
because, like you said, I'm important to people,
Yep.
you know, and if what happens to my brother and devastate his children, oh my God, I couldn't handle that for mine,
No doubt.
you know. But there's nothing you can do if you're gone, right?
No doubt.
So you can only do it now.
Yeah.
Um,
And I want to add there, we talked about a couple weeks ago, you know, focusing on the things that you can control. We can't control when people live or die. I mean, obviously there's ways you can, but I'm not talking
yeah,
about that. Like we can't control that. We can't control if someone gets sick. We can't control if there's a auto accident or what I mean, God forbid your child is out at the hawk and they get shot. Like, so certain things just we don't, as individuals, we don't have control over those things. But what do you have control over? Right? You have control over what we're just talking about. What you do with your focus. Do you focus on poor me because of this loss that I've had? Right? And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, right? But is that where your focus is going to remain? Because, that's where the numbing comes in. And that's where, but if the focus is outward and the focus is, I need to live, I need to live for these people. I can't explain how much, like, as my I think I should tell the story just because of, this conversation. But
mm,
this skydiving story with my dad was like, I'm so glad that we did that. Like, and at the moment, I hell no, I didn't want to do it. Like
yeah.
so I'll tell the story real quick. But I'll pass it to you before I do. I just want to say a good evening, Daniel. Daniel Poole. Good evening. I see you every week, sir. That's one of my parents' friends. He taps in every week and says something, so I appreciate you and I see you. Robert Goodwin, thank you. Jamie, my guy. So yeah, I think that story is powerful. So yeah, before I get long winded, I want to pass it to you.
Well, all right. So I talked to a couple of my friends and they tell me, they say, Tone, y'all need to, or Bob, y'all need to stay on subject.
Yeah,
So me and you, that's been I got 3 critiques.
yeah.
And that was the 3 common. Other than that, and I think the other one was we don't want to hear about your music every week. I think that was the other one.
Bam.
So I didn't know how to feel about that one, but
Well, here's the thing. We appreciate 100% the feedback, and we take every piece of feedback. So please continue to give that. Right.
that's why I brought it up because we asked for it.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, like, I want to, let's make a point here. Um, we could be talking fast sometimes. Sometimes you could be listening slow, right? Because we he asked a question, right? He said, what do you do when that grieving process showed up? So I gave you point one, I gave you point two, And now we're gonna go into a story about living your fucking life.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay. All right. See, I see where you're going with this. I see where you're going with this. Don't be chastising my audience.
Well, I just had to make that point because sometimes it may seem like we're jumping around, but I promise you, like with me especially, and I have that problem. And so let's talk about
But
accountability.
I took full responsibility for it, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said in the beginning of the show, you are a professional somewhat. I on the other hand, I'm winging it. I'm more of a Charleston White motherfucker, might just slip up and say something. So the miracle is that I'm even doing this live.
Yeah.
You know, but whatever.
We just did it.
No, we doing
We
this
do it.
shit.
You ever seen the movie Hitch?
Uh-uh.
Anybody that's seen the movie Hitch and the little dude, the girl was breaking up with him and he was sitting there and saying, "What did I do? What did I do?" And then the dude walks up and goes, "Dude, you're doing it now."
Yeah. I like that.
So we just switched the subject.
Toughen up, Buttercup. Yeah, already.
Yeah. So anyway, no, on some accountability shit, like I know I have a tendency to talk fast and jump around. Like when I'm teaching or like, when I'm showing you, you'll be like, Tone, slow down. Right. So I'm going to acknowledge that in myself. And that's something we're going to work on. So
all right. But I thought personally, that was good for the simple fact when we first started, we didn't talk about going live. We was going to go live the first show.
Yeah.
Right. And then it got good to us.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to be doing that. So we already knew we was going to have these freestyle moments and we was going to be clipping them.
Yeah.
And we just ain't got around to that part.
It's a lot. It's two dudes who really don't do all of this. This isn't about vanity. It's really about offering a space for conversation and having these conversations and giving people permission to grow, to learn, a space where you can come here and not feel corny for learning and growing and having these damn conversations, right? That's what it's really about. And I, with all the different projects I've been on, I've learned that the most important thing is to get going. It's the motion.
Yeah.
Right? Because we could sit here for another couple years and overthink what we should do. Should we go live? Should we not go live? Should we have a format? Should we have everything mapped out? We spend 10 minutes on this. Here's the intro. Here's the right. Mm-hmm. And you can have all of that. But what I've learned is that's the shit that prevents you from starting. Right?
Because too much on your plate.
They call
at
it
once.
Analysis paralysis. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I can't even start.
Yeah, I can't even start.
Hold on. I had that problem all the time.
Yeah.
If I look in the kitchen and the sink just so full of dishes, I say, oh, hell no. Yeah. I got to smoke 3 blunts before I get to that shit. Yeah. Like I got to get in the mood.
Yeah.
To do this shit because it's a lot of work.
And so for people watching, thank you for saying these things. These are the things we needed to hear because we just jumped out. We ain't know. We need to hear, nah, don't have a format. Y'all jumping around too much. And don't think I ain't getting to the story about my daddy because y'all not going to call me out. We gonna get back on track. Just so y'all know, we feeling good. I'm really just clowning and just kind of adding perspective on why we just, and what it means to me when people say things like that. It means they expect and want more from us.
That's right.
And that's a good position to be in.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So absolutely, man. Like, thank you. We're on it. We need help. It's two of us, right? We got good.
We got a little help.
We getting good.
And just to let you know, I want to say it now. Don't be asking for no help.
Yeah.
We got you, Sandra.
Okay. We already got
got help.
And she's awesome.
She just gonna pull up on
after
the next
the
season.
Yeah.
See. So we on the next level. Yeah. We plotting and strategizing, and it's gonna come together. And she's gonna add wonderful female depth for us and help us with these clips and
Yeah, and that all of that.
you know.
And so thank you. And outside of that, we promise you. I mean, if we leave it to Bob, we gonna have our own dedicated house next year just for the podcast. Like he wants to grow and do things, a lot of big things. We're growing this thing. But again, I will
I'm gonna
say,
talk you into that office.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
we just had to rip the Band-Aid off. So that being said, I want to acknowledge something real quick that I saw in the chat. For one, Clay Harlan said wonderful words. Thank you, sir. Robert Goodwin said, at least you guys are doing something positive and maybe you will save a life. And that right there, bro. Since the very beginning, we've said we don't care about how many viewers it is. We may bring our music up, but let me tell you something. It's not like we want to because we got a whole bunch, right? We didn't turn this into no music show. It just comes up in general, casual conversation a lot of the time.
That's what we do.
Because it's what we do, right? So we're not pushing it down your throat. We're not playing music. We're not doing none of that, right? But our purpose is to have an impact, right? And we got a message this week from someone, shout out Reese. I don't know if he's in here, that he made it a point to make sure I sent it to Bob. And it wasn't about saving his life, but it was about people are paying attention and this is helping more people than you think. And that's why we're here.
Keep going.
If the words ain't always pretty, we apologize. If the words ain't always in the right order or we jumbled it around, we apologize. We're growing, and this is that growth in action in real time. We're live doing it. You know what I'm saying? So much love. And so now let me tell this story about my daddy. It was a couple years, maybe I don't even want to rack my brain it was a year or two before he passed. Mm-hmm. My dad had one leg that he lost later in life. And we were doing another podcast that we did daily, and there was a big community and everybody was, Pop would come in every morning. We did it 7:00 in the morning. He would come in every morning. Some days he done fell, got stuck in the creek, he'll tell one of the craziest stories. I'm his son, and he didn't tell me. I'm learning on the podcast, right? But he never complained about his leg. One day, he showed gratitude for his leg being amputated because of all the lessons it's taught him about patience and strength. And you know what I'm saying? So like people loved him in this community. Yeah. And it got to a point where we did a in-person event in Orlando, right? And we knew for like 6 months that we were doing this event. It was, it was huge. It was 3 days. Pop coming. We got him a ticket. He coming. And everyone knows he's coming. So we started talking. My ex-wife comes in the podcast on a live one day and says something about, Tony, you said one time you would jump out of a plane. And my dad heard it. And he said, oh, well, shit. Yeah, we need to do that in Orlando. I'm looking up I don't even know how he's Googling and finding these places. Like, because it was ridiculous, man. Right. Yeah. So we get to the event. I'm part of planning and running the event. So the last thing on my mind was going to be some skydiving. Right. Yeah. We're trying, it's stressful running events and stuff. Right. Yeah. So we did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Pop's supposed to be going back on Tuesday. Or no, maybe he was going back on Wednesday and I was supposed to be going back on Tuesday. And Monday, he went off because the event's over and everybody's kind of going home. But he stayed in Orlando and he went off with one of the people there and they were like going out to dinner and doing things and having fun. And so I just randomly called him. I was at Disney World with the people. Randomly called him. He's like, yeah, man, I made my skydiving appointment. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I'm going tomorrow. We going, now I'm supposed to actually, this is what I was supposed to be leaving later that night. So I hang up and I tell them, we just did 3 days of all this personal development, mindfulness, jump off the plane type shit, right? I can't back out. So I tell them, they're like, we should go and be there when he gets down, and surprise him. So I'm like, that's a great idea. Hell yeah. Need to change my flight. I don't even know how to do that. But okay, we all right. New hotel. We here. I didn't tell him I was gonna be there. None of that shit, right? So the morning comes. We're calling to make sure, like, okay, is he there? How far is it away? How long are you? I'm talking to the lady at the thing, like, how far away? And my guy AJ's like, well, or maybe I don't know. One of them was like, well, see if they got enough space for us. And there was 4 of us. It's a little bitty plane. I'm like, no, he ain't got no space for us. He had to make it, like, hell no.
Yeah, you ain't want to go.
No, I did not want to go. So the lady's like, yeah, we got enough space. Absolutely. Hell yeah. They're like, we're going. I'm like, no, we're not. Like, hell no. So we're in the car. We got 45 minutes to get there. Like, we know when the plane's going off, all of that shit. This nigga up here, he's taking the class, done watch the little video, all of that. Right? We pull up. He's at the vending machine. We got all this on video. He's at the vending machine. We surprise him. He's like, y'all going? Yeah, we going. Okay, they had to weigh you. I was like 5 pounds under the limit. Ooh. Well, I never wished for bloating more than my damn life. Just one of them bloated days. I would go drink some water right quick and reweigh me, fam. So it just went. Next thing you know, I got a parachute on my back. Next thing you know, we're in the air. Next thing you know, I'm looking back at my daddy. He got the whole plane laughing because he crazy and he talking and he's excited and fired up and so we go and it was awesome. I'll do it again. The shit was great. Yeah. But my point of this story is, in the end, it was like a grand finale for my pop's life.
Yeah.
And it was just the courage to say yes for that moment. I always have that moment.
Yeah.
So as we think about losing people, think about the people that are still here and saying yes more and not making excuses for why you can't go and why you won't go. And I don't like so-and-so and I don't do this and I don't want to jump out of a plane. I'm scared because you don't know if that's going to be one of those moments that you carry with forever. Now, his funeral thing that we made has him raising his hands with his parachute on his back after he just got down. That's an image I look at every morning.
Yeah.
I look at it all the time.
Yeah, we got it hanging up over there.
You know what I'm saying?
It's part of the studio at this point because we have that spirit. That's what I like to do in here is capture people that are going to inspire us when we come making our music. It makes a difference when you look over there and see Granny, don't it?
For sure. It definitely does.
It make you
get right.
It make you get right. It make a difference when you look over there and see your father and your brother and your people.
Yeah.
And then you say you got something to be proud of and you jump into that recording over there and you put your heart and soul into it,
Yeah. So
but anyway, let's I think we got to get to forgiving.
No, well, this is what I was gonna say. It's 6:29.
Okay.
Our format for this show going forward, this first 30 minutes, we're gonna do what we want to do.
And that's what we've been doing.
Right.
And so that's what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we do. We open up the show talking about what's going on in our city, and in our state, in our country. We just start talking about random stuff, and we have to touch on the Mr. Butlers.
We do.
We have to touch on the Mrs. Denise Newman and Andre because that's one of our brothers that's suffering, and that's what the old heads is about.
For sure.
So we have to acknowledge our constituents first, right?
Yep. Our community.
Okay, I didn't. Yeah, I ain't using the
The
right
young
word.
kids call
Hey,
them
hey,
chat. They
hey,
call them
good,
chat.
good.
Chat.
Check. Yeah, yeah. Hey, don't be checking my words, nigga. I'm
You
trying to.
asked.
Hey,
You
hey, hold
asked.
on, hold on,
Did y'all see that? He
hold on.
asked me and then
I
gonna tell
did,
me
I
don't
did.
check him.
Nah, I appreciate it, but I don't because I think it made sense, but now I know it didn't. And you just on national TV. Go.
He said constituents like we got elected.
Yeah, you dirty motherfucker. I'm gonna make it make sense later on. It's gonna be in my mind all night. Constituents.
How do I fit that shit in?
Well, anyway, on a lighter note, I think it is like you said, it's what we always do. 6:30 now.
6:30 now.
It's time to jump into the subject.
Got it. Episode 8. This is healing, forgiveness, and letting go.
Hey.
In this episode, we explore the difference between remembering pain and living inside of it, right? We talked about that emotions are a place to get information, not a place to live. Our core focus, what does healing actually look like as an adult? I'm like, why forgiveness is more about freedom than reconciliation. I love that one, and we're gonna touch on that one. How holding on to resentment keeps you stuck in the past.
Boy.
The emotional cost of unresolved hurt, letting go without minimizing what happened, grieving versions of yourself you had to outgrow, learning to move forward without dragging old wounds along. Those are our focuses, right? And we're not going to get into all of that specifically, but overall, that's what we're talking about. It's not pretending things didn't happen or don't happen. It's about deciding that they don't get to control you anymore, right? You are not what happened to you. You are completely different. This episode speaks to people who have done the work but still feel kind of heavy. I know there's a lot of us doing that, right?
Yeah.
Understand your trauma but haven't released it. You're carrying some anger you want to let go, or you're ready to move forward without bitterness. It's a mature conversation about healing that doesn't rely on cliches or toxic positivity. Quiet strength, honest reflection, real release. This is grown folks' business. So just what for you, Bob? What does healing look like as an adult? Right?
I always like to just breathe first and foremost. Let it out. That's why I like to do music.
Yeah.
I like to write about everything. There's nothing I don't write about. If I have a breakup, if I have a makeup, if I have anything, if I have a bad day at work, and that's how my healing starts, is I just put it in a form of writing. I go through it over and over again, like accepting it. Acceptance is big. And then just not allowing yourself to play the victim. I don't want to be choked up all the time, because there was a time in my life where I was stuck on the negative. I remember being 25 years old at the pool room celebrating my birthday. And I like to tell this story just because 25 is one of them numbers, you know what I mean, that you feel like you're supposed to be somewhere at that age and you're not. And the following year happened. I was 26. Lo and behold, I was at the pool room again. I was drunk again, doing the same shit again. And the year just went by. I didn't get nowhere, And so when my aging was coming on, it was hitting me. It was like I was having like this midlife crisis. Like, what are you doing? And why are you still in the same spot? And why haven't you grown? And the one thing that I remember the most is that I was a father at the time. I was starting to understand my role as a parent. And I realized that we have these negative people in our lives, our parents. Okay, our parents can be negative. Okay, and they teach us all this bullshit. And then you grow up with all this bitterness. And before you know it, you got kids. And you're doing the exact same thing. And so at the age of 26, it dawned on me that I need to change my attitude. Okay. Just to get right, because negative is just bringing me more negative and it's wasting fucking years. Like years are going by and I got real kids to raise and make an impression on. And the last thing I want to do is pass all this baggage down to them. Like if I can't show them the overcoming aspect, the get over yourself aspect, the world doesn't revolve around you aspect, like, then what are we doing as parents? We just having these babies and throwing them into the toxic world, and with the toxicity that comes from us and our people. Like, we got to get to the healing part. And that's why it's just acknowledging it, bro.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that you are not doing good by yourself. Right?
Yeah, I think that's a great explanation, because I think, first of all, healing looks different for every single one of us, right? Because we're all healing from different things, right? So this person's healing from, it may be, some shit with their childhood. This person may have, went to prison, or this person may have done, so everyone's kind of healing from. But here's the first thing that I would say, and you said a lot. I think almost all the things you said kind of circled to one thing. It's your mindset. All right. And you said, I need to change my attitude, right? That was one of the words you used, but that's just another word for mindset, right? And so, first thing I would say to anyone that wants to know, like, what does healing actually look like as an adult? Before we even get into that, I want to look into the camera and tell every single person, it's okay. It's okay to heal. They don't really, especially for men, right? Nobody tells us that. Right. It's okay to heal. It's okay for us to move on, to grow.
And you know what? And that's what I like about me and you.
Yeah.
Is that we take that role. We don't allow the world to tell us what we can and can't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just like, you know what? We took our licking, but we ain't stopping.
No.
And we must heal. We know that we can't take this toxic energy forward.
Yeah. We can't, because of what we were just talking about previously. When it comes to mourning and when it comes to living your life, you all a responsibility, right? To whatever you may deem your creator and the blessings that they gave you. Yeah. To the people that are no longer here, that don't have the opportunity to do it, to the kids that are looking up to you. If you want a why, there's your why. Why do you heal? That's why you heal, because that moment, one leg jumping out of a plane, how do you think that man felt when he hit the ground? Yeah. Where do the limitations go? Where does the fear go? Because I know how I felt.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, we all have that opportunity to, and then I'm not saying go jump out of a plane. It doesn't matter what it is. Whatever that's been on your heart and you keep making excuses not to go do it. If it's a person that you need to go see, if it's a conversation that you need to have it, fam. It's okay.
Yeah, because life is short, and these moments there's not promised. Moments get by. That those people that just lost their child up at the Hawk the other day.
Yeah.
Or yet was it yesterday?
Yeah, maybe. Yesterday morning. So like 2 a.m. So it would have been Friday night, Saturday morning.
Well, but things can turn just like that.
Yes, they can.
You know, you look one day your kids going out to celebrate and you telling them to be careful and to watch out for this and watch out for that. And lo and behold, they run into whoever, the bully, the argumentative person, the person who just having a bad day and going through mental health, you know?
So let's talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up because here in Lawrence, that boy was traveling from Minnesota. He was going to Mexico. He was on the bus. They stopped here. He ended up in City Hall, and they shot and killed that boy. Right, and then now I don't know the situation, and I'm not speaking on the situation. What I am speaking on is all the articles and all the things that I see about it. They don't just call him Omar. They say mentally troubled Omar, blah blah blah, mentally blah blah blah, mentally, like, stop putting labels on people. His name is Omar. All that extra adjective shit that y'all, we don't need that, bro. Regardless of his situation and what he was going through, right? Like, he is over. And I don't know, that almost triggered me because that is pissing me off.
But the truth is that people that are going through a daily battle are having these mental breakdowns.
For sure.
Okay, so like you said, it is just a person. It's Omar.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going through a moment, I want to just be looked at as Bobby.
No doubt.
And just because I got triggered by whatever, there might have been a reason that I got triggered.
No doubt.
You know, or maybe a motherfucker didn't take his medicine that day or something, you know. You know, I got family that flip out like that.
Yeah.
So that can happen to any of us. You can get a call any moment and your uncle that you don't check on, the one sleeping at the park, you know, drinking his life away, doesn't, you know, mental illness is just tearing his ass up, and he just decides to say fuck it today.
Yeah.
You know, while he drunk. Because you know, when you drunk, you just might do that.
Yeah.
You just might say fuck it today.
You might. And when it comes to healing, if we're going to ask the question, what does healing look like? You're looking at it. It's having these uncomfortable conversations. It's peeling back the layers. It's dealing with the bullshit. You know,
Crying.
It's crying.
You got to cry.
Right.
Let it out.
Let it out.
I spend many a day with a therapist crying.
Absolutely.
I cry a lot, actually.
And
you know,
the last thing I'll say in terms of healing before we get into this forgiveness piece, oh shit, now I done threw myself off.
You over there conducting business?
No, I'm trying to, because I want to define mindset. So because we talk about it, I want to define it. So I was pulling it up to try to get a quick definition. But what last thing I'll say on healing is environment is a very big part of that. Okay. You can't heal in the same environment that you got sick in. Right. So if your affliction is, you know, drinking, if your affliction is, you know, women, right? Or whatever it may be, whatever you're going through.
Oh, nah.
Keep yourself out of them places.
Boy, you said it right there. How many people trigger is women?
There's a lot.
A lot. You done seen it many a times. We got a homeboy, or how many of our homeboys we done seen just lose it behind a woman for whatever reason? Sometimes it's mental health.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's always mental health.
Yeah.
Right. It always mental health, and so love is almost some of the most dangerous drug out there.
For sure. And having the awareness of when to pull yourself out of these situations. You know, if you're not supposed to be drinking, why the fuck are you at the bar? Right? Like so some of this when it comes to healing, there's an accountability piece and there's a courage piece, right? It takes courage to hold yourself accountable. You know what I mean? But the reason why we've spoke about it, right? Keep reminding yourself of that, because when the why is big enough, everything takes care of itself, right?
Yeah, the why got to be big. and it's usually your children or your grandbabies. But for me, my kids is so powerful in my life. Like it's almost nothing I wouldn't do for them.
Yeah.
And the thing that I did to start them off on the wrong foot to begin with, you know, as a parent, holding myself accountable, saying, boy, you can't miss 5 years of your baby's life, you know, and at the time I was doing it, I didn't think nothing about it because I thought that things like money, things like pride, uh, things like my reputation, you know, I thought those things were valuable, you know. And then I got to prison, and the very first day I got to prison, I lost my daughter, Victoria. I lost her the day when I got off the bus, the motherfuckers was in there waiting for me to tell me what already happened. And I didn't, and they was trying to keep me cool, but that's how I had to start my 5 years. My first day let me know right away, this is what being an absent father looks like. You know, and it crushed me.
That's tough.
It crushed me, man. You know, I can't tell you enough about the accountability that I owed my other children once that happened.
Yeah.
You know, I lost this baby, but then I got Sweetie Petey, I got Floyd, I got Juliana wasn't even in my life yet. So I couldn't even say I had her, but I had Shayla, Sweetie Petey, and Floyd. And then I lost Victoria, which is the reason I wanted to be Jay-Z and Aisha's daddy, because I figured, okay, I got all this love for my baby, and I can't just let this love just die, right? So I'm going to pass this love that I got for my child to her siblings. These are her siblings who got a deadbeat ass daddy. These. And so I'm don't do that. I love when you give me them little looks. You give me them little looks like, oh, that was not. All right,
Hey, it is what it is. Hey, to be honest, they earned them titles, so it is what it is. You got to earn that, bro.
Yeah.
It's one of the quickest ways for me to not respect you as a man is being a piece of shit dad. So I don't really got much sympathy for that shit.
Nah, and we ain't supposed to. As men, we supposed to hold all our men accountable.
For sure.
So that way these kids have better people to help them. You know, they need protectors and guidance, and they need men.
Yeah, they do.
You know, I mean, we got women. We've always had women.
Yeah.
But we don't have men.
Yeah.
They're absent.
Yeah. For the most part.
Well, not all of them. You know, I hate to stereotype.
Yeah.
But we even know good brothers that still leaving a child or 2 or 3 hanging.
Yeah.
You know.
So just so they don't accuse us of getting off topic, before we go into forgiveness, because I think forgiveness is important. There's a very key part to forgiveness that I want everyone to hear. But let's talk about mindset for a second.
All right.
Right. Just so, because we keep bringing it up. What is that? Right? When mindset is the way you think about yourself and the world. Mindset affects how you react when things go right or wrong. Mindset can be changed and trained over time. That's what we're talking about, right? It's this flip. When it comes to healing, it starts here. It starts about the way you think about yourself, the way you think about the world. And when I say that part right there, I'm always saying the meaning you attach to things. So that's what I mean by that. The way you look at something. When you look at a person and you say, oh, he's about to rob me because, or, oh, he's homeless, and you've made judgments, or, oh, this restaurant ain't going to be good. These are all pieces of this, just meanings that you have attached to things that you see, right? So mindset helps you keep going when things get hard. So, you know, this, when we're talking about this grieving process or this healing process, right? This conversation in your head and the meaning you attach to things and what you focus on, that's mindset. So I just want to get that out there. Hopefully y'all caught that. Hopefully that helps somebody. And mindset shapes the choices that you make every day. So based on the meaning you attach to something, that is going to be the choice that you make, right?
Yeah.
Because, okay, this means that, so now I'm going to make a choice. So do you see how if you have the power to change it, then that can directly affect the choices that you make, which then directly affects the quality of your life, right? So when we're talking about healing, starts with mindset. So just to think, just so y'all don't say we got off topic.
Yeah, so and forgiveness plays a big role into that, because if you allow yourself to forgive everybody, you know, your parents, yourself, anybody that's wronged you. You know, there was a time where I was doing the work on myself, and I realized I had forgiven everybody in my life but my daddy.
Mm.
And I didn't know why I was holding my dad to this standard that he just couldn't fulfill. And and nobody else could either. My mother didn't, but I forgave her. You know,
Yeah.
and then when it came to my daddy, and so there was a time, that's why I wrote that song, Forgive My Father, right? And it's funny because when I was telling him that I forgive him, that nigga looked at me and said, he said, forgive me for what? And I was like, damn, Dad, well, you know, that's cool. You can feel how you feel, but, you know, I got a lot of shit going on inside of me that's a direct result of who you were, you know, and how you were, you know, having all these motherfucking kids and not being an active father, you know, allowing stepdaddies. See, that's something I could never do. I ain't with none of my baby mamas, but ain't none of my motherfucking kids ever had a stepdaddy, you know? Because even if they mama with somebody, it don't matter because I'm daddy. You did? Ain't nobody gonna be disciplining my child the way, because I'm there to do it. I'll be goddamn if another nigga put his motherfucking hands on mine, you know? And I'm standing on that. And when you got a parent that didn't, you're like, oh, you allowed that nigga to whoop my ass, huh? You know, you allowed me to be abused by another man, you know, but you supposed to be this gangster. All these motherfucking gangsters out here, but ain't nobody protecting women and kids. But you protecting the homeboy?
Well, let me circle that in, right? Because he was talking about forgiving his father, and his father didn't see anything that he did wrong. So he was pointing out different things in different situations that could happen in a situation, you know, with fathers, right? But I think it highlights a very big point is you go to, you know, this big moment where you're like, yo, I'm going to forgive him. Let me, because I'm sure before you got there, on the way over there, he was like, I'm about to do it. Right, like I had.
Well,
thought,
my goal was I wanted that song done before he passed.
Yeah,
and I got the first half done, and I was proud of it. I was so proud of it. I thought it was the Dear Mama for Daddies, you know, and that's what I wanted it to be. And so I took him what I got.
Yeah.
And I explained myself to him, and that nigga just looked at me, and he didn't even give my little song credit for nothing, because all he heard was "forgive me for what."
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's the point I was making. Is see, forgiveness isn't about the other person.
It's about me.
It's about the freedom you get.
That's right.
From not holding on to these feelings anymore and letting them go and changing the meaning and all the things we just talked about, right? Forgiveness is important for you. It has nothing to do with the other person. That's just a benefit.
And it mattered in the last days, because I see some of my siblings that didn't forgive my dad. And ooh wee, you know, like like, so at the end there, you know, here my dad got 17, 18 motherfucking kids, but ain't but 2, 3 of them motherfuckers over there.
Yeah.
You know, that even want to deal with him because, and you can't even be mad at them because they ain't done the forgiveness part. See, and I had that, and that's the thing that I used to try to tell my siblings, because I did it with my mama. I ain't like my mama, but I forgave her and I moved on. I forgave her for being a junkie. I forgave her for having me as a kid and making me a born addicted to heroin. I forgive her for that. I forgive my dad for allowing her to do heroin. You know, there's a lot of shit there that we hold, because when you grow up, you tell yourself, I would never do that to my kids.
Yeah.
And then it turns into, well, how the fuck did they do that to me?
Here's what helped me with my parents. It is first of all, nobody gives us a handbook or here's how you be your parent, right? So our parents didn't get that, we didn't get that, our kids ain't getting that, right? It's passed down from examples that they've seen and choices they made in their life and just where they're at right now, right? None of my kids were actually like planned kids, right? It's just I'm out here living life, then okay, that we got kids. Okay, so now I got to be a daddy, and so like
Nah, you
I
was fucking
realized
without a condom, nigga.
and I was being irresponsible, right? Like so.
You said you just gonna skip over the fucking.
No, I'm partying and being
Yeah.
irresponsible. Like so, for my parents, they were 19. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. None of us want to be judged for choices we made when we were a 19-year-old stupid kid.
But we
right?
do judge, because at the end of the day, that's what happens. We have these kids with women that we're not gonna stay with or be with, or even fight hard to be with.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we don't, because I know you did. I did as well. We all do. I
It just depends.
I speak on it all the time. However, as adults, we're doing our babies a disservice by breaking up, going our separate ways, and then, because it's hard enough at that point, so the ones that are out here toughing it out for their babies and making that stuff, hey man, I don't even know how they doing it.
Well, let me circle this all the way back around. It's very important when we're talking about forgiveness that you forgive yourself for that shit too. All right. So me as a dad at 19 years old, still wanting to chase a career and still wanting to be in the streets and things like that. Like I kind of was doing the best I can. I was winging it. Right. And I did the best with the information that I had at the time. Right. But if I look back, I can say, oh, every time I got a new piece of information, I applied it and I grew and I'm still growing. And now look at me now. So that allows me to go back and change the meaning for all those mistakes I made as a young parent.
I agree.
Right. It taught me.
I agree, because I can't take back who I was back in the day. Right.
Yep.
But what I can do is show resilience to show that I'm not that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that in itself shows the fact that, oh my God, damn, Dad, when he really wasn't a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He really did have good in him, and he really could grow.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see out of a life.
Yeah.
When you look back on that person's life and reflect, you want to be able to say, okay, I could forgive them, because at the end of the day, they always did better and tried to do better with what they had.
See, it's easy for us to judge the choices that people make, right? Without knowing what was in front of them at the time. They made that choice, but what was the other choice?
Yeah.
What was the alternate? Was that the best choice? You don't even know that. How could you? Yeah. So then we look back and we judge these people when we do the exact same shit.
I'm my biggest critic, though,
and you should.
And one thing I like about you, having you around me, is that you don't allow me to be hard on myself.
No.
So the second I get to talking shit about my past or what, and you're like, well, it made you who you are. You just always spin it back to okay, it happened. Shit happens. But that ain't the part that we need to be focusing on. We need to focus on this part.
Yeah. Because in my and let's go back to mindset real quick. Let's keep, because I know we're getting close to the time. It's 7 now, right? This very small switch in thinking is everything happens for me, not to me.
Yeah.
Right. And that small thing, if you could just tell yourself, just remind yourself that as much as you can throughout the day. Oh, this is happening for me. Oh, this is, and then start thinking about, well, how the hell would somebody running into me today, you know what I'm saying, running a red light and hitting me, how's that happen for me? Or, but just think about it and go through it. And I bet you can find some ways that it helps you, because there is no such thing as a failure if you learn a lesson from it, right? You cannot fail if you learn a lesson, right? Yeah. And so to before we go, and I'll pass it back to you, but in terms of forgiveness, to circle it back into closing, the first person you have to start with is you, and forgiving yourself for all of those things that you beat yourself up for, and that you still focus on, or you know what I'm saying? Bob is a great dude, right? And every little piece of thing that happened in his life, those times where he did something and he felt wrong, now keep him from doing things like that anymore, because he has that feeling. He knows what it feels like. Nah, I don't do that, because that ain't right. Right. So that experience was actually very valuable in your life.
Yeah,
when you were making,
because I was a goofball. If you really think about it, you ready to crash out, you ready to do this and that, you ready to lose your life. Like, just think about the years we wasted selling drugs, and how you have to forgive yourself once you come back out and you start over. Now you're out here, but you can't live down the drug dealer thing. You just can't.
Nope.
There's almost nothing you could do about it. That's your reputation. You did it too many years.
Yep.
And so now I'm trying to change that image, which almost becomes a job in itself.
And I'm just sitting there thinking, one of the feedback is they don't want to hear about our music every week. Well, something really powerful this week happened with me with music. Is I got a little 5-song R&B EP finished, and every single song was this conversation that we're having right here about changing, about forgiving myself, and the process that I went through to get there. And I didn't realize how therapeutic that shit was until I finished it. Right.
And I didn't say it, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I did want to tell you, because we doing a lot on our own.
Yeah.
Far as Tony Gaines, Bobby White. All right. And you be sending me these songs and shit, and I get to listen to them. You have really gotten, I've always liked you as a writer.
Yeah.
But now that you're playing with things other than rap, and granted, we've been doing this for a long time, trying to sing and rap but now we're actually getting to the point where we don't need all these other singers and musicians, and it allows us to see our stuff, which as a writer, I've always kind of had that ear where I could hear things that I'm not doing because I can't sing well, but I got it in my heart to write this song that's singing. And so as a songwriter, I just want to salute you, bro, because that's I think I'm a hell of a songwriter, and I don't like everybody's songwriting, but I've seen you grow, and now you're doing things. I used to be on you all the time about, because you had that one song that I just loved, and we ended up doing it.
Yeah.
But I was upset because I wanted you to see the value of that song,
Yeah.
And now you're writing songs better than that.
Yeah.
You know, and to me, that was my favorite Tony Gaines song.
Yeah.
Which is why I wanted to be on it so bad.
Yeah.
You know, and why I wanted you to bring it back to life and not let it die.
Yeah.
And now you're just writing these songs that are like female songs and male singing songs and nigga.
Yeah.
We
Well,
clowning right now.
We are clowning. And to be honest, it's been really, really, that's why I brought it up. Because when I say therapeutic,
Yeah,
I didn't realize
that's healing.
I needed to get that shit out. There's a bunch. I got about 15, 16 songs right now where I just been dumping and getting things out. And I feel so great and I feel so confident as a songwriter. I don't share my music much with people, right? So there's about a group of there might be 15 people total that even got a shot at getting something from me.
Yeah.
If where I'm like, hey, I want you to check this out. You know what I mean? And I've been doing that for years. There's certain people I always run shit by. And the responses I'm getting right now are different. Is different. People are, like they're getting into, it's bigger than music. Like they're getting into like emotional depth and like, so to every single one of y'all that are doing that, you don't know how much that builds me up. To hear that, bro, I think that, but I don't do it for that, right? So we are getting better. We are coming for a Grammy. You see this? We coming. It may not be our music, it may not be our voice that you hear, but we're over here doing world-class shit right now. And salute to you too, because you are doing it too. Like you are so. I was looking on there how many songs we've created.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I've created more songs than in this last 3 or 4 months than my entire career.
Yeah.
You
Me
know
too.
what I'm saying?
Me
Like
too.
it's crazy.
Me too.
And
I can't wait to get over there. I was working before we started.
Yeah. And we keep saying that we're going to sit and do a listening session and kind of really share some of this stuff with people because y'all deserve it, right? And we will. So I think this is a good place to close, Bob, unless you have something else to say, man.
No, I ain't got nothing, man. Just everybody keep your head up, keep striving. Andre, man, just pick your head up. And Reggie, man.
Yes,
Reggie,
sir. Yes, sir.
I seen that you're cancer free now.
My guy.
So with that being said, my brother, just take care of yourself. We love you. Come on back strong. You ain't got to go right now. You can make this crossroads for yourself and just keep on pushing.
Yeah.
You dictate your life by pushing.
Sure.
You feel me?
Yeah. Much love, Reg, man. Knock that out. Wasn't nothing but paper to a paper shredder, sir. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I do want to acknowledge something real quick before we go. Robert Goodwin said, I learned something valuable today. Thank you, Bobby and Tony. You're
awesome.
welcome, fam.
That's my white brother. That's D's brother.
Hey, let me
you know
say,
that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And let me say one thing to him. This is what I always do. You can thank us all you want, and I'm not taking us out of it, but you're the one that showed up. You're the one that listened. You're the one that allowed the shit in. You're the one that used your brain to change some things. So shout out to you. Thank you, fam. Right? Because that's why we do it. So
and Bob, just so you know, and I don't like to put people business out there and none of that, but Bob overcame his own issues. You feel me? So shout out for that.
No doubt.
Because, Bob, I don't want to put his business out there, but the man was using pills.
Yeah.
Okay. He got injured and got to where he was addicted to pills.
Happens to the best.
Okay. And he was like that for years. It ruined his reputation. But guess what? He bounced back.
He bounced back on that bitch.
He bounced back, and he's been clean for a while.
Yeah.
And he's making a difference, and he's back to who he is.
Yeah.
You feel me? The person I knew growing up. And so I just wanted to say that just because you know, I grew up with Bob, and that's D's brother. He's the same age. We're the exact same age.
Yeah.
You know.
Shout out, Bob. And I'm gonna always do that because I want people to know at the end of the day, my good friend AJ Gupta always says this. You are the only person that's gonna be with you everywhere you go. All right. So we're gonna leave here. You'll be here. Everywhere you go today, you're there.
That's right.
I'm not there. Right. So yes, we appreciate the acknowledgement. Yes, we accept it. No, we're not going to sit here and act like, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's something else. But at the end of the day, you showed up. I just want to point that out. Shout out for you.
And
man.
you have received the knowledge because some people hear the mirror and they're going to turn the channel.
Fam said 20 years clean. That's dope.
That's Bob?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
20 years clean.
I'm thinking more like 7. You know, so that just goes to show you. You know, and I forgive me for putting your business out there, brother.
Nah, man, it's
you know,
it's part of his story, and I'm sure he shares a lot.
But I like to tell it for the simple fact there's a silver lining at the end of the, you know, because like we was talking about earlier, is forgiving yourself and being able to move forward. And if you know that you've overcome something like that, and because there's so many people that don't.
Yeah.
My mom, your mom, you know, we losing people every day to drugs.
No doubt.
Pills in particular, opioids in particular.
Yeah.
You know.
So celebrating these wins is important.
Yeah.
People love to get on social media and talk about all the messy shit. We got time for all the messy shit. To highlight when someone's made a mistake or had a bad day. We love to talk, and I'm not talking about we. I'm talking about we, right? We love to do that. But what about celebrating those small wins, those small significant wins? Miss Marsha, thank you for showing up. Stevie, I see you, right? And those are the things I'm talking about. Stevie not showing up for me, she's showing up for her. And that's what we should all be doing. You know what I mean? So one love. This has been episode 8 of the Old Heads podcast.
2 left, baby.
2 left. Man.
Then we moving on up. Hey, we get ready to do something. We got to, bro.
All right.
We got to. We got to. We got to take this shit to another. Because we was supposed to see if we was feeling it and liked it.
Oh, hold on.
And we doing that. I think we feeling it and liking it. So
I forgot the most one thing.
Oh, the Go Nuts.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. Get on your J-O-B.
Yeah. Our official sponsor, Go Nuts. Right? We actually, coming up in February, they're re-airing the Shark Tank episode 3 times in February. We got the pink one, we got the black one, right? Works in the shower, on your sensitive parts. We're giving these away, episode 10. I don't know how, when, what, or where. We're gonna figure it out. But
I shaved today. This motherfucker still fine in here.
Absolutely. TheGoNuts.com. Shout out.
Already.
We'll holler.
Peace. Turn that camera off. Let's smoke some. God damn.
Hold on, it ain't off yet.